For my blackness, giving rhyme or reasons. Black all the time, no matter the time of season. We spice up everything and add our flavor, we the seasoning. Hated by many, but admired by most. We the baddest from the U.S. to the Ivory Coast. We don't have to exert our power, we just simply coast. We've been put down, let down, and hung out to dry. But through all of it, we still keep our heads to the sky. Black forever, forever. I'm unapologetically black. We rise like unapologetic, yeah, we're the chosen. From the streets to the stage, the power's awoken. Black magic in our veins, feel the motion. Warriors of change, pushing through every notion. No chains can hold us, we break through like oceans. Educate, elevate, that's our devotion.
Another Queen Ahmadiyyah production.
I'm unapologetically black for all rhymes and reason. I give no apologies for my blackness, giving rhyme or reasons. Black all the time, no matter the time of season. We spice up everything and add our flavor, we the seasoning. Hated by many, but admired by most. We the baddest from the U.S. to the Ivory Coast. We don't have to exert our power, we just simply coast. We've been put down, let down, and hung out to dry. But through all of it, we still keep our heads to the sky. Black forever, forever. I'm unapologetically black. Still pushing through the struggle, can't keep us down. Voices loud from the underground to every town. Shades of excellence, ain't no hiding, won't back down. From the roots to the U.S. in the city's crown. Stay shining bright despite the hate they lay. Our culture's fire burns strong night and day. Black forever, the spirit won't decay. Raise the banner high, cause we here to stay. Sally, stay shine with the go in the level I talk, so I cry, Sally. Angel, you command, your thoughts are demands, and it's turn on Sally. I'm unapologetically black for all rhymes and reason. I give no apologies for my blackness, giving rhyme or reasons. Black all the time, no matter the time of season. We spice up everything and add our flavor, we the seasoning. Hated by many, but admired by most. We the baddest from the U.S. to the Ivory Coast. We don't have to exert our power, we just simply coast. We've been put down, let down, and hung out to dry. But through all of it, we still keep our heads to the sky. Black forever, forever. I'm unapologetically black. We rise like unapologetic, yeah, we're the chosen. From the streets to the stage, the power's awoken. Black magic in our veins, feel the motion. Warriors of change, pushing through every notion.
Black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm blacker than black, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm blacker than black, and I'm black, y'all. I'm blickety black, blacker than black, black, I'm blacker than black.
All right. All right. Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your morning wake-up call. So as you're coming in, please feel free to like and share this video. Subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. Please be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Okay, so let's get ready to get black into it. All right. Now, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Dr._A.Shakur, TikTok at Dr. A.Shakur, and Twitter at DGoddess27. And as per usual, if you don't like what the Queen is cooking, you already know what to do. All right. Hello, Red Wine Entertainment. Juju said, Queen, looking amazing. Thank you, beloved. All right. Anita Harrell, Nessie X, that Crazy Beach Aries cookie. Okay. Above all that drama. Shout out to my moderators putting in work. Desmond. All right. Junior Thorpe. Jeff ATL, most hated bronze flat power God. All right, let's get into it. Buckhurst DC. Vince I am all the way from the UK. Said the Queen is, hold on. Said the Queen is fluid and flawless as always. Thank you, beloved. 504 Nola is in the house. All right, Juju said Queen's birthday week. You already know. Just 2 more days, beloved. Okay, Truth Brown is here. All right, TC Dance in the house. Okay, so let's get it started. Most hated bronze flat power God. Did I say you? Cookie said, Queen, you're looking beautiful. Thank you. You all are being so nice this morning. What's really going on? Okay, so let's get into it, you guys. Now, I lied and told y'all I was going to come back yesterday. I sat right over here and lied and told you guys I was going to come back. Well, I had intentions of it, beloveds, but I had some other work to do that I just didn't finish on time, okay? Truth Brown said, Queen, my birthday is Sunday. All right. All right, Pisces in the house, Pisces season. Okay. Shout out to all the Pisces. in the chat because y'all know we are petty and we don't take any mess. All right, please pay attention. Now let's talk about it, honey, because Tony Buzbee. Now I just want those of you who saw the video that I did on yesterday. Okay, you remember that I showed you the proof and receipts of how Tony Buzbee is in fact not able to practice law in the Southern District of New York. Okay, due to his own nefariousness. I had the whole court docs, all right? And I'm sorry, that wasn't yesterday. That was the day before. Yesterday, I showed you the 30 pages where Diddy's attorneys are trying to get him, to get the evidence suppressed from the raids in his case. Now, is that going to happen? I don't know, but they did make some compelling arguments, okay? They absolutely did. But, you know, the same thing happened in the OJ case, okay? OJ's team, they tried to get evidence suppressed from when they searched OJ's home, and but the judge wasn't going for it. The judge absolutely was not going for it. Okay, so we're going to get into that. Now, before we get started, I'm going to have a brief word from my sponsor at 12 Tribes.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
Okay, so don't forget you can purchase 12 Tribes oil for your hair at Etsy.com. Just look for Lisa Crafts, and you can also find it at Walmart.com. Okay, so now let's get into the specifics. Okay, so as I was saying, you know, Diddy wanted to get all of that information from the raids just dismissed, suppressed. You know, they gave a myriad of reasons as to why. And if you missed the live yesterday, please go back and watch. Okay, it was like a 30 pages of legal documents. But like I said, they tried the same thing in OJ's case. Now, in his case, Simpson's lawyers filed a motion to suppress evidence obtained from a search in his home. The motion was denied and the evidence was allowed to be used in trial. But here's why. Okay, so the motion was filed because Simpson argued that he had a reasonable expectation of privacy because his home was fenced and gated. That's not a compelling argument. That sounds really asinine. So you mean to tell me because you live in a gated community, they shouldn't be able to raid your home when you're accused of a whole crime, specifically murder, double homicide to be exact? Yeah. Okay, he also argued that the detectives had no evidence of a threat to life or property to justify entering without a warrant. Well, they knew that 2 people were dead and thought that likely you did it. Okay, so now why it was denied is because the court found that the officers were acting in response to a brutal attack and believed that a delay could have resulted in loss of life. The second reason is because the judge also considered the experience of the officers who had many years of experience in a homicide unit. Now, Simpson's defense also argued that evidence had been mishandled and that some police officers were racist, i.e. Mark Furman, who claimed he never said the N-word, but in fact he did. And I do believe that that's largely part of the reason why OJ got off. Not to mention the fact that they claimed the glove didn't fit, but you know, the glove was leather and it had been outside, likely the dew on the grass, or if there was any moisture outside, it could have shrank it. And also, OJ supposedly had arthritis, which makes the hands or the knuckles, the joints of the hands of the fingers swell. So maybe that's why he couldn't fit that glove that he clearly wore when he killed those 2 people. Okay, I'm convinced. I've always thought he was guilty. Okay, so now with that all being said, it makes sense to me as to why OJ's request was denied, because that was a flimsy request. You can't just sit up there and say because your home's gated and you live in a nice community that they shouldn't be able to raid you and you have an expectation of privacy, because what you shouldn't have and what you are not supposed to have is an expectation of privacy when you know that you just murked 2 people. Okay, and even if you did murk them, if the police think that you did and they're conducting an investigation, so that's how that works. But you know, Diddy thinks that he's smarter than everybody else, and he thinks he's going to walk up out of there. And so with that all being said, but let's talk about Tony Buzbee. Okay, let's talk about Tony Buzbee because he did respond to the allegations of him not being able to practice in the Southern District of New York. And here's what he had to say. First off, let me just share my screen and show y'all this, because Buzbee said he got receipts. Hold on, you guys. Hold on just a second. Uno momento. Now, here's the thing. Here's the thing. I find it interesting because what Buzbee is saying, it makes no sense, specifically when I already showed you all the documents just the other day of how, in fact, Tony Busby's paperwork was denied. Okay, I showed it to you. And so why he felt the need to come out and say this, well, I think it's just for, basically, I think it's him just trying to save face. Okay, that's what I think. I mean, what else could it be? What else could he have really been thinking? Hold on, you guys. I don't know why this isn't going to my email. Hold on. Let me try this one more again. Okay, so let me just tell you what Tony Buzbee says. He says, I received many inquiries. Okay, so Tony Buzbee says, I received many press inquiries and make no effort to respond to most. I prefer rather to make a one-time general statement and let the various entities use the statement as they see fit. Over the past week, I've gotten multiple inquiries from friends and colleagues expressing concern and asking why I have been barred from practicing law in New York State and offering their assistance. So I myself have seen several press agencies, some borderline legitimate, reporting the same trash. Now, let me be clear. I'm licensed to practice law in New York. I'm in good standing with the state bar, and have always been. Although I prefer Texas, I'm proud of the legal work that we're doing in New York. Don't believe the clickbait or dramatic headlines. Most of what's reported nowadays is pure bunk by those with an agenda. That's what he said. Tony Busby said he's absolutely allowed to practice and he's in good standing with the Bar Association. So please don't sit there and believe the trash and it's all bunk. This is what he says. So he's saying that he's licensed to practice in New York. Well, you know, Tony Busby, I'm going to beg to differ on that note. Okay, now you're really looking and sounding sketchy. And then he proceeded to post his license and all of that. But here's the thing. Though Busby may be licensed to practice in New York, one thing's for sure is it isn't the Southern District of, okay? That's what it isn't. Now, he did bother to post this. Let me share my screen so you all can see it. Y'all see this? Appellate Division of Supreme Court of New York, State of New York, 3rd Judicial. Okay. I, Robert D. Mayberger, Clerk of the Appellate Division of the Supreme Court of the State of New York, 3rd Judicial Department, do hereby certify that Attny Glenn Busby was duly licensed and admitted to practice as an attorney and counselor at law in all the courts of this state on January 7th of 2019, has duly taken and subscribed the oath of office prescribed by law, has been enrolled in the roll of attorneys and counselors at law on file in this office, is duly registered with the court, with the Office of Court Administration, and according to the records of this court, is currently in good standing as an attorney and counselor at law. All right, so this is what it says, and it has the seal on it, so it's all legit. But the thing is, this is from 2019, January 17th of 2019, Tony Busby. And so, Mr. Busby, right now in February of 2025, they're saying that you're not able to practice in the Southern District of New York. Okay, they were very specific. And so I just want you all to pay attention because I'm not falling for that. I don't believe it. I saw what the court papers said. You all saw them too because I read them to you. So, you know, I don't know what Mr. Busby's up to, but seems like some shenanigans as far as I'm concerned. Okay, okay, that's what it sounds like. Now, with that all being said, let's talk about the lie that I told you all about. Okay, remember I told you all that a certain YouTuber has been accused by people on ScrewTube of basically making up this whole lie about A$AP Rocky and Rihanna being sued by Jay-Z and Beyonce. Well, now they have a whole write-up about this on the Daily Mail. Now, first of all, let me show you this fake lawsuit that was supposedly filed in the Virgin Islands. Y'all see that? Okay, first of all, they misspelled Rihanna's first name, Robin. It's spelled R-O-B-Y-N, okay, not R-O-B-I-N. And then also they put A$AP's name on there as A$AP, not his legal name. And of course, I told you all yesterday that Roc Nation responded and said, don't be dumb. But here's the thing. Journalist Megan Cuniff says the cases are no longer listed in the PACER filing system, but there will always be stuff on sites like Justia.com. And it really begs the question of how the courts are dealing with whoever decided it was a good idea to use real celebrity names to test the docket. And then saying that it was probably an elaborate prank. Well, okay, goes on to say, soon popular lawyer Megan Cuniff shed light on the situation and claimed it may have been a prank. Okay. One person theorized saying, I bet the farm that the court clerk is testing the ECF system on a quiet Sunday with fake cases. Usually they pick Santa to sue. The dockets should go away momentarily. And then that's when Megan responded saying, I looked at the docket after seeing all my ads and told someone that this must be some kind of elaborate prank. Okay, when the only publicly available document in Knowles Carter versus Fenty is this training document. Okay, so basically, you know, they said it's just a prank or whatever. All right, I want you all to pay attention. So people out here lying, like I said, you have to be careful, and because people are out here doing the most. But speaking of A$AP Rocky, did you all hear about Diddy sitting up there begging A$AP Rocky's attorney to Joe Tacopino, Joe Tacopino. I think that's how you say it. Okay. Anyway, let's just call him Taco. But anyway, Diddy was supposedly asking this man to be his attorney, and the man's like, no, not going to do it because, for one, he has an allegiance to Roc Nation. And then he went on to talk about how he's such good friends with A$AP Rocky, as also A$AP Rocky and Rihanna both said they're supposedly naming their next child after him since he got A$AP off with the case. But also he mentioned Desiree Perez, the lady who's the CEO of Roc Nation. He talked about what a good person she was and how it was a pleasure to work with her and Jay-Z and everyone affiliated with Roc Nation. Okay. And he said, that's the sort of family to me. And I don't think they see eye to eye with, oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. Let me read this whole thing. Now, this is what he basically said. He said, I represent Roc Nation, a lot of people in Roc I'm very close with. Okay. Now, he said this on the Breakfast Club. Jay and Roc Nation president Desiree Perez, who's the most amazing, like bomb of a boss. Jay is amazing. You know, Jay Brown, all of those people are just like, they really are special, special people. That's a sort of family to me. And I don't think they see eye to eye with P. Diddy. Okay. And he also alluded to the fact, you know, of being in agreement with Jay-Z and Diddy having not been really friends. Okay, like they had some kind of disagreement years ago, basically. So Vince, I answered in the Queen's voice, say what now? Yeah, so that's what it is. I mean, you know, this just goes to show how desperate Diddy is. Okay, clearly desperate. Now he's trying to add another lawyer to the team, and he's seeing that this man got A$AP Rocky off. So does he think this man's going to get him off too? Diddy, you're not going anywhere. Please have several seats. Okay, that's what he needs to do. So anyway. But then again, let me not speak too fast because we already know that Diddy does have a few things, unfortunately, working in his favor. And those are the fact that people have told a myriad of lies. Those are the facts that one case has gotten dismissed. Those are the facts that Tony Buzbee has filed at least 12 other cases against Diddy. And we don't know what's going to be the outcome of those cases now that Buzbee is barred from practicing in the Southern District of New York, where the cases were in fact filed. Okay? And I think that Buzbee is possibly lying by omission because, like I said, that certificate was awarded to him in January of 2019. Okay, it could have expired for all we know, or I mean, could no longer be valid. And clearly it isn't if he can't practice. All right. So, I mean, I just wouldn't think that he would have been so careless. But like I told you guys yesterday, if this is all true, and I believe that it is, the reason Tony Buzbee probably didn't, give a petition to practice is because he probably thought that nobody was going to want to go to trial. He probably thought that these A-list celebrities would just simply decide to settle quietly behind closed doors and not go through all of the hassle. Okay, so anyway, that all being said, now let's talk about Trump. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. And don't forget to double check and make sure you're still subscribed to the channel, especially if you have not been receiving your notifications. Now, here's what they're saying. No, you know what? Let's go. Hold on. Yeah, let's talk about Trump's budget. Trump's budget bill heads to House-wide vote despite GOP divisions. Okay, so let's get into it. Trump tax cut plan heads for House-wide vote despite GOP rebel threats. Medicaid and okay, so let's get into it. So House Republicans' mammoth budget resolution survived its final hurdle late Monday night before heading for a chamber-wide vote. Now, the legislation passed the House Rules Committee on a party line vote in a measure combining several bills that are expected to get a full House vote this week. Now, House GOP leaders aim to have it pass on Tuesday evening, okay, according to Fox Digital. But various concerns about spending cut levels could put the goal out of reach. Now, under the current margins, House Speaker Mike Johnson can only lose one Republican vote to pass a bill without Democrats. So Representative Victoria Sparks announced over the weekend that she is against the current text, while several other fiscal hawks suggested their support is still up in the air. Two other conservative reps, Tim Burchett and Thomas Massey, signaled they would oppose the resolution as well. Now, some Republicans are worried about potentially damaging cuts to Medicaid and other federal benefit programs that their constituents rely on. Johnson met with some of those potential holdouts on Monday night for what they called a very productive conversation. Now, the speaker sounded optimistic when leaving the Capitol late on Monday, telling reporters that we're on track. We got the resolution through rules, and we're expecting to vote tomorrow evening. Now, this bill aims to increase spending on border security, the judiciary, and defense by roughly $300 billion, while seeking at least $1.5 trillion to $2 trillion in spending cuts elsewhere. Now, as written, the bill also provides $4.5 trillion to extend President Donald Trump's 2017 tax cuts and Job Act provisions, which expire at the end of this year. An amendment negotiated by House Budget Committee Chairman Jody Arrington and conservatives on his panel would also force lawmakers to make $2 trillion in cuts, or else risk the $4.5 trillion for Trump's tax cuts getting reduced by the difference. Now, that agreement alarmed Republicans on the House Ways and Means Committee. Okay, one said, "I don't think this is doable without affecting beneficiaries." And I've expressed that concern to leadership. And in talking to some of my colleagues, Tokus told Fox News Digital last week. He said, talking to some of his colleagues, he doesn't think they're going to be able to do it. Now, Johnson met with Tokus and other members of the Congressional Hispanic Conference, okay, a House GOP group, on Monday night to discuss their concerns about spending cuts in the bill. The New York Republican was more optimistic when leaving the meeting late on Monday night, telling reporters that GOP leaders had erased her concerns, saying, "I'd say now I shifted from undecided to lean yes." Okay, this is moving in the right direction. Now, GOP lawmakers are working to pass a broad swath of Trump policies, from investments in defense and border security to eliminating taxes on tips and overtime wages. The mechanism allows the party in control of both houses of Congress to pass the tax and budget bill without help from the opposing party. To do so, it lowers the threshold for passage in the Senate from 2/3 to a simple majority, where the House already sits. Now, the Senate advanced a narrower version of the plan last week, which does not include Trump's tax cut priorities, because the president favors all the issues being wrapped up into one bill. However, it has been regulated to a de facto backup plan if the House fails to pass its plan on a reasonable timeline. The House Rules Committee is the final gatekeeper for most pieces of legislation before a chamber-wide vote. The committee normally debates on, or they will normally debate on a set of bills, not necessarily related ones, but setting terms for amendments and debates and advancing those terms of committee as a single rules package. Now, House lawmakers will then vote on the rules package before the final reconciliation framework. Once this bill passes the House, the relevant committees will get to work filling the framework out with detailed policy priorities, which will be returned as a final bill that will need to face House passage again. Johnson said that the Americans for Prosperity events on Monday, he said this at the Americans for Prosperity event on Monday, that he wants that to happen sometime in April. Listen, all I'm going to say is this: is Trump needs to make sure, him and Elon, they need to make sure they're not messing with Medicare and Medicaid, okay? Because the elders need to have their health insurance and all of that, that they're not out here doing all these cuts to that, okay? That's what they need to be doing, as far as I'm concerned. But now they're also saying that Elon's nearly 40%. Now they're also claiming that Elon's cuts from DOGE are not going to save anybody any money. Now, this is what they're saying, which sounds a bit strange to me, but this is what they're saying. Nearly 40% of contracts canceled by Musk DOGE are expected to produce absolutely no savings. That's the word on the streets. So nearly 40% of the federal contracts that President Donald Trump's administration claims to have canceled as part of its signature cost-cutting program aren't expected to save the government any money. Now, how's this possible? Okay, is it just me, or does this sound crazy? Terry Hinton says they don't care about the poor or disabled. They think that population is irrelevant. Well, you know, I have to agree with that. I know Bill Gates certainly does. Okay, now that's my opinion. That is my opinion. So they say the Department of Government Efficiency, run by Trump advisor Elon Musk, last week published an initial list of 1,125 contracts that it terminated in recent weeks across the federal government. Now, data published on DOGE's wall of receipts shows that more than 1/3 of the contract cancellations, 417. Okay, I don't know why this phone's ringing. I thought I had on Do Not Disturb. Anyway, they go on to say that 417 in all are expected to yield no savings. Okay, that's usually because the total value of the contracts has already been fully obligated, which means the government has a legal requirement to spend the funds for the goods or services it purchased, and in many cases has already done so. They say it's like confiscating used ammunition after it's been shot, okay, when there's nothing left in it. It doesn't accomplish any policy objective. This is what Charles Teifer says, a retired University of Baltimore law professor and an expert on government contracting law. Says they're terminating so many contracts pointlessly. Obviously, that doesn't accomplish anything for saving money. Dozens of them were ready, or dozens of them were for already paid subscriptions to the Associated Press, Politico, and other media services that the Republican administration said that it was going to discontinue. Now, others were for research studies that have been awarded and training that has taken place, software that has been purchased, and interns who have come and gone. I just find this all egregious. You mean tell me they don't know how to save any money? No matter what they do, they can't save any. Okay, please make it all make sense. Now, an administration official said it made sense to cancel contracts that are seen as potential dead weight, even if the moves do not yield any savings. The official was not authorized to discuss the matter publicly and spoke on the condition of anonymity. What is going on here? Now, in all, DOGE data says the 417 contracts in question had a total value of $478 million. Dozens of other canceled contracts are expected to yield little, if any, savings. Now, they say it's too late for the government to change its mind on many of these contracts and just walk away from its paying obligation. This is what Tyfer says, okay, who served on the commission on wartime contracting in Iraq and Afghanistan. Now, Tyfer said that DOGE appeared to be taking a slash and burn. Okay, this was their approach to cutting contracts, which he said could damage the performance of government agencies. He said savings could be made instead by working with agency contracting officers and inspectors general to find efficiencies, an approach the administration has not even taken. Now, the Trump administration says it's targeting fraud, waste, and abuse in the government. And DOGE says the overall contract cancellations are expected to save more than $7 billion, an amount that has been questioned as inflated by independent experts. So here's what I want you all to pay attention to. I think they're lying. This man, Tyfer, I don't see how what he's saying is true or even plausible. Now, he's saying that even if, now I could be wrong, okay, because I'm not in politics, but I'm just going by my own thoughts. So he's saying that even if they're canceling 417 contracts, that's not going to save them any money at all whatsoever, and little, if any. Well, that just sounds crazy to me. Okay, like I said, that doesn't seem to make any sense. But mind you, okay, Elon is saying that it's going to save more than $7 billion, an amount that has been questioned as inflated by independent experts. So they're saying that he's inflated the numbers clearly. Now, the canceled contracts were to purchase a wide range of goods and services. The Department of Housing and Urban Development awarded a contract in September to purchase and install office furniture at various branches. While the contract does not expire until later this year, federal records show the agency had already agreed to spend a maximum $567,809 with a furniture company. I'm sorry, do you all seem to be wondering why the government's spending this kind of money on furniture? Why they're spending this kind of money with a furniture company? This also sounds like frivolous spending. I'm sorry, make it make sense. Now, the U.S. Agency for International Development negotiated a $145,549 contract last year to clean the carpet at its headquarters in Washington. Okay, but the full amount had already been obligated to a firm that is owned by a Native American tribe based in Michigan. Another already spent $249,600 contract went to a Washington, D.C. firm to help prepare the Department of Transportation for the recent transition from President Joe Biden's administration to Trump's. Some of the canceled contracts were intended to modernize and improve the way government works, which would seem to be at odds with DOGE's cost-cutting mission. Now, one of the largest, for instance, went to a consulting firm to help carry out a recognition at the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention's National Center for Immunization and Respiratory Diseases, which led the agency's response to the stupid 19 pandemic. Now, the maximum, over $500,000 for carpet cleaning? Somebody make that make sense. Somebody make that make sense, okay? And then all of this money on furniture, like $500,000 plus on furniture. Okay. Yeah, this is all crazy. You know, like I said, you cannot trust any of these politicians, in my belief. At the end of the day, I absolutely believe that this country has been involved in money laundering. That's just what I think. I think they have absolutely been involved in money laundering. And, you know, where are our reparations? The money that they owe us, okay? Because they stole us, they sold us, and now they owe us. And I don't care what anyone says. And here's the thing. When these people say, oh, we were never slaves, or our family didn't own slaves and all that, they owe us reparations for a myriad of things, not just slavery. Slavery is the main reason, but there are a myriad of other subtopics, okay, or sub-reasons as to why they owe us. And so now the California Legislative Black Caucus unveils a 2025 reparations bill package. Say what? Because weren't they the ones who initially denied reparations? Let's get into it. Okay. They're getting some of that good old Amish furniture. It can all be so simple, said they're killing our ancestors. Truth Brown says, yeah, give us our money. I mean, exactly. Exactly, but that's what they're not going to do. They're just talking trash right about now, talking about a reparations package. Okay, how long have we been waiting for one? Let's get into it.
Last year, new reparations bills have been introduced at the state capitol. They were introduced this week by the California Legislative Black Caucus. So tonight, ABC 10's Becca Hobbecker looks at what the bills are calling for.
Yeah, Alex, 15 new bills introduced this week are aimed at addressing generational harms and racial disparities affecting Black Californians, from helping descendants of slaves with homeownership to college admissions and more. Advocates tonight explain why this push continues and what has changed.
This package is a continuation of our multi-year effort to address the deep generational harms inflicted upon Black Californians.
At a news conference this week, state lawmakers with the California Legislative Black Caucus, CLBC, talked about the importance of the 15 bills they're introducing this session, calling it the Road to Repair 2025 Priority Bill Package.
For centuries, systemic discrimination has created barriers of opportunity for economic security, housing, education, healthcare, and so much more.
They include AB 7, which would prioritize admissions for descendants of slaves, and AB 57, which would shift a portion of home purchase assistance funds to first-time homebuyers that are descendants of slaves.
What do we want?
Many of these suggestions come out of the years-long process of the California Reparations Task Force, which produced a more than 1,000-page report published in 2023. Camilla Moore was chair of that task force and believes this year's package of bills falls short of delivering real reparations.
One of the biggest flaws in the CLBC's current package is the absence of a fund bill. Without it, there is no sustainable plan for reparations.
She also sees the proposed Senate Bill 437 as a stall tactic. She says it calls for more study on how to determine someone's genealogy and whether they descended from an enslaved person.
And the California Reparations Task Force did this work already. We don't need an additional study.
One of the bills in the package is a reintroduction of a ballot measure that 53% of voters rejected in November, and an iteration of which failed a couple of years before that, too. It would remove involuntary servitude from the California Constitution. Currently, people incarcerated in California can be forced to work, which advocates of the bill say amounts to slavery.
If that does not sound like legalized constitutional slavery to you, I don't know exactly what that sounds like.
Jamilia Land, co-founder of the Abolish Slavery National Network, has been fighting for years to end involuntary servitude and hopes this will be the year lawmakers and voters will not just remove involuntary servitude from the Constitution,
but also making amendments to our penal code, because Penal Code Section 2700 currently states that every able-bodied person incarcerated in a California prison shall perform as many hours of faithful labor each and every day as prescribed by the director of the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitations. That sounds like you don't have a choice, and that is forced.
We have to continue to watch. We have to continue to read the bills.
Kansa Friday Jones Muhammad is a founding member of the Coalition for a Just and Equitable California, which has played a pivotal role moving reparations work forward in the state, and a group, a coalition, she hopes lawmakers continue to listen to.
It's coming from multiple areas where Black people live, work, eat, sleep. And I think it's important for that to be a consideration when decisions are being made.
And Becca, we do want to be clear, none of the bills that we were talking about involve cash payments, right?
Yeah, that's correct. At this point, California reparations advocates, in fact, are warning people to be on alert for scams, saying any social media post, website, or email promising monetary reparations are false. And at this point, there are no financial reparations claims process in the state of California. So they want folks to be on alert for those.
Yes, absolutely. Becca, thank you.
These people are absolutely so full of crap, okay? They are so damn annoying. This is nothing but them playing in our faces. Don't sit here and act as though, Black Caucus, that you're trying to push for reparations all over again when you denied it in the first place, okay? Like this is, and when they did that, in my opinion, they were simply trying to shield Governor Gavin Newsom, who really didn't want us to have him in the first place, but only was acting as if he did. Okay, this is nothing but bullshit. Okay, let's go to this next video about these liars who lie. Please pay attention.
On the final night of California's legislative session, the California Legislative Black Caucus blocked its own priority of creating a state agency to focus on reparations. And the group today reintroduced a similar proposal. The blocking of that state agency outraged reparations advocates in the community that had been hoping for it last summer. They protested at the state capitol on the final night of session. That happened days after the California Legislative Black Caucus members helped pass one of the most controversial and high-profile bills last year. It allowed billionaire Steve Ballmer to be the only club owner in California to serve alcohol until 4 a.m. for an exclusive 100-person VIP club in his Intuit Dome in Inglewood. This was carried by Assemblymember Tina McKinnon, who is a member of the California Legislative Black Caucus. So, as the caucus today introduced proposals to address inequities the Black community faces in California, I asked about the split screen and why Black Californians should take the group seriously this time. How do you expect Californians to trust you to get reparations through? I mean, all of these things are reintroductions.
So are we talking about a 4 a.m. drinking at the Intuit Dome, or?
I mean, both.
Assemblymember McKinnon is not here today.
I know she's not, but
you're welcome to talk to her. You're welcome to talk to her. At any time about that.
Yeah, but
appreciate your coverage last year on that and many other issues.
Right, but reparations folks saw that pass and saw the governor sign it right after the reparations.
Are there any questions about this package before we go to session?
Wait just a minute. I'm sorry. We are entertaining questions about our reparations package this year. The bill that you're referring to was not a part of the California Legislative Black Caucus reparations package last year. That was an individual member's bill. We all have our own individual members' bills. We all have to not only represent Black Californians, but we also have to represent the communities in which we come from.
One interesting thing to note in these proposals is that the group appears to be dropping the word reparations and replacing it with the word repair in a lot of these proposals. Again, these proposals range from creating a new state agency on this topic to also addressing different types of discrimination in California. Reporting at the state capitol, Ashley Zavala, KCRA.
Now, do you see how he had the audacity to get a damn attitude when they were asking him questions? Like, dude, y'all literally canceled it. Y'all blocked it. Didn't want people to get it. Now you're sitting up here trying to feign concern, okay, to pretend as if you actually want people to get something this time, but it's not monetary anyway. So I just want you all to pay attention. These are people who look like us, okay? These are the people who look like us. I mean, nothing but raccoons. Okay, nothing but a bunch of raccoons. These people don't give a damn about their own people. And you know why they don't? Because they're already rich. They already have their millions, okay? These people are multimillionaires. You think they care what we want or need? They've already gotten their reparations. So why do they need to fight for us to get them? Okay? And to be honest with you, there are some people who look like me who want to keep other people who look like me in their place. They don't want us to evolve to where they are. Okay, that's just what it is. Sitting up there getting a whole attitude. No, he didn't. And then the lady takes the microphone. We're here to talk about our package for this year. No, we want to talk about the one for the previous year. Okay, lady, we need to know why y'all blocked it. This is all nefarious at the end of the day. And see, this is exactly why we're never going to get anywhere. This is why we're not going to get anywhere, because like I told you all, what's even more dangerous than a wanton supremacist is a person who looks like me, who works at the behest of wanton supremacy. Okay, please pay attention. That's what's the worst. But anyway, this is all crazy. Now let's go to Joy Reid, because y'all know she got canceled. Her last show was last night at 7 p.m. And, you know, she cried her little eyes out and all that. But what I found interesting was the fact that Megyn Kelly had the nerve to call Joy Reid the most racist person on TV. Lady, you work for Fox News. Who the hell can you call racist? And isn't she the one that said, just shut up and dribble? Okay, I have several questions. Okay, but let's get into this, honey, because I absolutely cannot. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance.
My show had value. and that, I'm sorry, that what I was doing had value. And in the end, I'm sorry, I try not to cry on TV. And I say this is kind of like me on TV, so I apologize. And that it mattered. I see Karen is there, and she's been texting me as well. And so what I will just say is that in the end,
Now let's go to what Megyn Kelly had to say, because I found this all real interesting. Okay, James Allen said, "Joy is acting, ain't no tears." Oh my God, you all are nefarious. Listen, hold on. Above all that drama said, looking like a bust down. Looking like a bust down Grace Jones. Oh my goodness. You all are so awful. This is all nefarious.
Let's talk about Joy Reid. I'm so torn. Oh, Victor, I'm so torn. You know, I'm thrilled she's gone. She literally was the most racist person on television. Her and her most favorite guest, Ellie Mistel. So they deserve 100% both to be fired. But, you know, it's like, we won't have her to kick around anymore. And there's a little sadness in that. This is one of the many reasons why most of us are absolutely delighted to see her get fired from this show. And it appears from MSNBC. Tonight, we believe, will be here last night. A little walk down memory lane in SOT 1.
But in America, there's a thing about both white vigilantism and white tears, particularly male white tears. Really white tears in general, because that's what Karens are, right? They Karen out, and then as soon as they get caught, it's like, Green Waterworks.
Ron DeSantis has been waging a full-scale war against the Black past. It's illegal to make white people feel uncomfortable in Florida.
You also have the restrictions in schools over what can be taught about race and gender for fear white children might feel bad when they find out that not all white people in history were heroes. Do any of you guys trust Uncle Clarence? These Republicans are dangerous. They're dangerous to our national security because stoking that kind of soft white nationalism eventually leads to the hardcore. From the Tea Party on, they're voting on race. The idea that they can't get whatever job they want, a Black person got it, therefore drive all the Blacks out of the colleges. They're just voting specifically on racial animus. At this stage, it isn't about economics. They want to turn every state into their white Christian nationalist hell. It's DEFCON 1, y'all. Take action and stay woke.
These Sephora colognes are a scam. Did you know these?
You know, I find it interesting that Megyn has the nerve to sit up and call Joy Reid the most racist person on TV. And, you know, the sad thing is people who are actually racist, you know, they try to liken racism when it pertains to as being something that a Black person says against them. That's what they think. Okay, so if a Black person is complaining about racism, then that's racist. Or they'll say it's reverse racism. Or if you're defending Black people or talking about Black issues or speaking on social injustices, okay, then that's racist. But what's really racist, it's not about words. It's about the things you do, okay? It's about the things that you do. When you prevent people from being able to get certain jobs because of how they look or because of how they wear their hair, or you tell people they can't work at certain places if they wear their natural hairstyles and they have to get something called a Crown Act so they can just wear their hair in a natural style in order to get a job. That's no different than Jim Crow when they put up the whites only signs. It's just another way of discriminating. This is racist. Okay, Joy Reid talking about those issues she was just discussing. There's nothing racist about that. And also, racism comes with an element of power. Okay, we don't have the power to suppress or objectify them or any of those things. Okay, to subject them to anything. We don't have that power. We don't have the ability to tell them they can't work at our jobs because of the way they wear their hair. We don't have the ability to do any of these things. So I find it interesting all the time when they want to sit there and try to act like someone who looks like me is being racist to someone who looks like them. This is all so nefarious. And like I said, at the end of the day, this lady works on Fox News, the most racist news station probably in the world, but definitely in the United States. And she has the audacity to talk about Joy Reid. Okay, I just want you all to pay attention. She has the audacity to talk about Joy Reid. This is all so crazy. And then they love to talk about reverse racism when there's no such thing. You see, reverse racism would mean there is no racism. That's what that would mean. Okay, so she could miss me with it at the end of the day. You know, but these are the people that are running things. And how is it that you're running things, but we're racist? Okay. Just like that person who got on here that day in my chat and told me that the sooner I realize that there's no such thing as wanton supremacy or white privilege, that the better off I'll be. And I told them white privilege absolutely exists, and so does wanton supremacy. And the fact that we have a 34 times convicted felon running this nation proves just that. Okay, so miss me with it. All right, and not that Joy called Clarence Thomas Uncle Clarence. Okay, so anyway, now let's talk about Trump, because Kremlin disputes Trump's claim about Ukraine peacekeepers. Putin's spokesperson pointed media to comments from Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov last week, in which he said that the deployment of troops is, of course, unacceptable to us. Now, President Donald Trump was incorrect when he said that Russia will accept European peacekeeping troops in Ukraine. While Trump said Monday during a White House meeting with French President Emmanuel Macron that he had specifically asked Russian President Vladimir Putin about peacekeepers and that Putin has no problem with it, the Kremlin contradicted those comments on Tuesday. Now, when asked about Trump's remarks in media, Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov told reporters that the Russian foreign minister has already said everything about it. I've got nothing to add. Peskov was referring to the comments Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov made last week in a news conference following talks in Saudi Arabia with Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Lavrov said that the deployment of troops from NATO countries, but under a foreign flag, under the flag of the European Union or under national flags, is, of course, unacceptable to us. Now, Moscow's denial of Trump's claim that Putin would accept European peacekeeping troops is the latest twist in relations between the Trump administration, America's historical European allies, and Putin, who until a recent and rapid warming in relations with Washington had been viewed as a global pariah. So in other words, Trump is lying, okay? Trump's just lying. Now, while Trump and Macron renewed their friendly rapport, their Oval Office meeting was emblematic of the transatlantic rift emerging over Ukraine and a host of other issues, including tariffs, as the French president became the first European leader to visit the White House since Trump began his second term. Now, on the third anniversary of Russia's invasion of Ukraine, Macron warned Trump to be careful in his negotiations with Putin. Okay, the two also appeared to disagree over who was to blame for the war, as well as Europe's financial contributions to Ukraine. Now, after Trump said that Europe, unlike the U.S., would get back the money it had given Ukraine in military aid, Macron said no. In fact, to be frank, we paid 60% of the total, adding that it was through like the U.S. Loans, guarantees, grants, and we provided real money, to be clear. Okay, so he had to let Trump know how it all went down. Now, if you believe that, it's okay with me, Trump replied, later saying that the U.S. and Ukraine were very close to a fine deal for his administration to access Ukraine's rare earth metal deposits as a way to recoup some aid, even after Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky last week rejected a U.S. demand for $500 billion in minerals. Hold on, let me get this straight. I say, what now? So Trump is sitting here trying to get back some of the money. I want you all to pay attention. So Trump's trying to recoup some of that money that Biden was sending over to Zelensky, okay, and demanded This is hilarious to me because Trump is crazy. Okay, y'all don't get it by now. Trump is out of his mind. Now, I'm not saying he shouldn't have asked them for some of these minerals, but what I'm saying is Trump just thinks he can throw his weight around and do whatever. And he's making demands to people, not asking nicely, not playing by the rules, but he's making demands. I mean, he really thinks and is convinced that he's a whole dictator. Okay? I mean, they say that he demanded $500 billion in minerals. Trump said, God damn it, we got to get something for all that money Biden gave y'all. Now, back in Ukraine, Zelensky's troops were similarly circumspect about the prospect of a rare earth and precious metals deal heavily weighted toward the Trump administration, clawing back some of those funds that the U.S. has given to Ukraine since Russian troops invaded. At first, the money was announced as a humanitarian aid. Valentin, an ex-pastry chef and now tank commander in the Ukrainian military, said to NBC News on Monday. He says, but after Trump became president, he has started to set his conditions, which we don't accept. I'd like to talk about Trump. It's politics. If we pay attention to everything, it's easy to give up. If we give up, we lose all our borders. This is what Valentin added when he also asked that only his first name or a call sign be used in accordance with military protocol. Now, Macron responded to Trump's comments about peacekeepers later Monday in an interview with Fox News, saying that we want peace. And I think the initiative of President Trump is a very positive one. But my message was to say, be careful, because we need something substantial for Ukraine. Now, Lavrov and Rubio were expected to meet again in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, this week to enter negotiations over Ukraine, again without Kiev's presence. Saying, don't worry, Kiev will be invited to the negotiating table in due time. This is what Russia's permanent representative to international organizations in Vienna, Mikhail Yulanov, and said on Monday, according to the Russian state news agency. Now, the latest evidence of the fracturing in relations between Europe and the U.S. Okay, it seems like, quite frankly, you guys, it seems like Trump is fracturing relationships with everybody in all these different countries. Okay, China, Canada, I mean, you name it. Okay, and so anyway, it says the latest evidence of the fracturing in relations between Europe and the U.S. Trump's meeting with Macron came shortly after the U.S. opposed a United Nations resolution by Ukraine calling for Russia's withdrawal from internationally recognized borders. Now, the U.S. instead brought its own resolution from which it ended up abstaining after European nations won 3 amendments to it. Before his spokesperson dismissed the idea of European boots on the ground in Ukraine, Putin told a state media reporter on Monday that we would only welcome Europe's involvement in negotiations. Meanwhile, all of Ukraine was under air raid alerts early Tuesday after the country's Air Force warned of Russian missile attacks, which prompted scrambling of Polish aircraft and of other allies over Polish airspace. They say this war is shifting from the ground operations to air battles. Okay, that's what Valentin said. Trump is out here doing the absolute most. Now, he's telling these people, y'all better give us $500 billion worth of them damn minerals, okay, because we got to get something out of this deal. Oh, crazy. Okay, so Janine says Bill Clinton and Obama shrunk government and illegal immigration. So what's the problem of Trump doing the same? It's Democratic. So what's happened to the Democratic side? Just say. Well, you know, that's a good question. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm just laughing because of the way Trump is going about doing things. Okay, like he's everybody's father or something, just issuing out demands, not asking, like I said, not even willing to negotiate in most instances, it sounds like, just telling people what they're going to do, and because he said so. Okay. James Allen said, I like what Trump is doing. He's shaking up the government. He said, I'm getting all of y'all. Yeah, he is shaking it up. He definitely is. Okay. But see, pay attention, because Trump's going to start a war, okay? Trump is going to start World War III. Y'all think I'm joking? Don't say I didn't warn you, okay? Because that's absolutely what he's going to do. I mean, you know, some of the stuff he's doing, yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. And in fact, Ukraine should give the U.S. $500 billion in minerals because of all the money they've been given. But they're not going to do it, okay? And the bottom line is, like I said, Trump is out here acting like a whole dictator, and that's pissing a lot of these country leaders off, pissing off these world leaders. And I wouldn't be surprised if somebody decides to go to war with the U.S. real soon. That's all I'm saying. Okay, and so anyway, with that all being said, I'm going to conclude this broadcast. Let me make sure I didn't leave out anything. Yeah, I'm going to conclude this broadcast. And listen, here's the thing. I'm not going to say everything Trump's doing is crazy, because some of the stuff he's doing is okay. But at the end of the day, the bottom line is Trump is, you know, getting rid of people that absolutely deserve their jobs, have earned their positions, firing those top U.S. Military officials. That was absolutely insane to me. That makes no sense at all whatsoever. Okay, that was just ghastly as far as I was concerned. All right, and Trump says he wants people to jump to attention. Right, that's exactly what it is, Roberta, and that's exactly what it is. When he says jump, they better say how high. Okay, that's what that sounds like. Noah said Trump is still Trump. Absolutely. Okay, absolutely. That crazy bitch Eric said, I agree with you, Queen. Okay. So anyway, yeah, I'm just saying, you guys, don't be surprised if we get into a war real soon, because Trump's going to piss off the wrong people in a minute. That's just what I'm thinking. And then here's the thing. Let's not forget that I reported to you all last week that they arrested somebody for threatening Elon Musk's life online. Now, he's been hanging out with Trump for not even 2 months and already getting death threats. Yeah, I'm sorry. Make it all make sense. Okay, make it all make sense. So with that all been said, listen, I hope you all got something out of this broadcast. Everyone, please hit that like button. Okay, don't forget to like and share, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And also, don't forget to double check and make sure that you're still subscribed to the channel, because people will be getting unsubscribed, okay, you guys, on a regular basis. So with that all been said, I love you all to life. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. And today, Trump thinks he's God and wants people to bow to him. Yeah, that's what it sounds like, Monty. That's exactly. You see, because here's the thing. Some of the things that Trump is doing, it's not the fact of what he's doing. It's more so, this is just my opinion, it's just the fact of how he's going about it. See, you can't just be throwing your weight around. You can't just be talking to people crazy, especially people who are on the same level as you. You're talking to other world leaders, okay, and giving them demands. Like, you're just telling them this is what it is, and this is what I said because I said so because I'm Trump, okay? That's what he's doing, and some people are not going to go for it. All right, I know Putin wouldn't go for it, okay? And you heard what Macron told him. Wasn't it Macron who told him to be careful in his negotiations with Putin? Why do you think he told him that? See, Trump and Putin get along, but make no mistake, if Trump goes over there trying to throw his weight around and talking crazy to Putin, that's not going to fare well. I can guarantee you that. And if you think Putin, if you think Trump is tougher than Putin, think again, because I don't think so, okay? And, you know, and to be honest, I don't really think that Trump would talk crazy to Putin, because I think he knows who to mess with. Okay, I think he knows who to mess with. All right, and so anyway, with that all been said, I hope you all enjoy the rest of this beautiful day. Each one teach one. That's how we're going to thrive. Listen, I'm going to come back later, because there is something I want to talk to you all about all these beefs on YouTube, about all these people just going in on each other. Y'all don't notice all the drama on these YouTube streets? I want to address that later, because what the hell's wrong with people? Why can't we all get along? Now, before I became a content creator on YouTube, I used to sit at home and wonder, how the hell do these people get in all these beefs with each other? How do they even know each other in real life? Do they have some meeting place where they all show up and just go at each other and then do videos about it? But it's a whole bunch of BS going on, and we're going to talk about that later. And this is exactly why I don't fool with certain YouTubers, okay? Because they're problematic and keep up mess. Okay, so lights up, everyone, before you leave. And I want to thank you all for tuning in, and keep those notifications on, and I will talk to you all again soon. Till next time, beloveds, don't forget to keep the Most High first in your lives.
Hit him with that flavor. Gold all in my skin, God all in my blood. Kings all in my circle, you touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen, why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunta. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood. Kings all in my circle, you touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood. Kings all in my circle, you touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got